very wise man once said, "There is nothing new under the sun." Or, as some would say, what goes around comes around. For me, that became a reality in 1954. At the conclusion of 6th grade, I left New Hanover 9 years after arriving in 1945 and moved back to live with my mom and stepdad, Vic Richardson, in the city of Durban to continue school through to the 12th grade. The move was earth-shattering. I was plucked out of my very comfortable country bumpkin lifestyle and thrust into a world I cared little about. I was a total misfit. The best I could say about it was that I tolerated my new environment. School was different too. You had to wear a uniform and were not allowed to go barefoot, not even after you got there in the morning. Vic, my stepdad, sensed there was an issue. He knew what it was. Having operated and owned a trading store in the remote Inclavini Valley, you might say we were mutual country bumpkins. But the problem was, what to do? A friend of the family suggested that my joining the Boy Scouts movement might be a solution. With their focus on outdoor life and survival skills, they might just give me a new perspective. It worked. I was introduced to weekend camps at the wilderness area called Burman Bush, just on the outskirts of the city of Durban. The challenge was to keep our stuff safe from the thieving vervet monkeys that inhabited the area. What a difference the Boy Scout movement made in my life. "1955 saw me in high school in 9th grade. That's when the next major event took place. I thought this would never happen. Vic and Mom got tired of city life and began talking about a move. Vic wanted to adventure up north from South Africa. They talked about Uganda, which I thought was very exciting, living on the shores of Lake Victoria. That never happened. When the move finally took place, it was only about 15 miles south to the hamlet of Isipingo Beach. Maybe only 15 miles, but a whole new world opened up. Isipingo Beach is technically an island, with the Indian Ocean to the east and a vast mangrove swamp to the west. The reefs around Isipingo abounded with blacktail and stonebream. Fishing was unbelievable, and let's not forget the thrill of learning to spearfish. I was more than in my element. I mean, this was really living. Oh, and remember those mangrove swamps? Exploring them and becoming acquainted with the fiddler crabs that made the slimy black ooze home was nothing but high adventure. It was in Isipingo that scouting really took off for me. George Curtis, known as Bulldog to all of us, was the scoutmaster. He was totally dedicated to the scouting movement. He was an ex-Chindit, those unorthodox, rabble-like British soldiers that fought in the jungles deep behind the Japanese front lines in Burma during the Second World War. That made him a natural to lead an adventuresome group of boys. He had this way of pushing us to our limits and encouraging us to go for the goals we'd set for ourselves. That's how the Umgeni River project was born. 3 other scouts, Michael Holmes, Rodney Hartman, and Harry Bodley, and yours truly, got this idea to hike from New Hanover down a series of tributaries, starting with the Sterkspruit River, then finally following the Umgeni River as far as Nagle Dam. That was a rugged 100-mile hike. It was really tough going. But in Scout-like fashion, we pushed one another, reminding ourselves of the dream, and we got it done. A world-recognized Boy Scout publicist, Vic Clapham, interviewed us, captured our dream, and wrote an article that was published in some local newspapers and scouting journals. We were in the spotlight for a while, but that's not what it was all about. It was just that, well, the 4 of us had this dream, you see. Looking back, I ponder what Boy Scouts really contributed to my life. Here's a thought. Somehow it helped me connect the dots that showed me a healthy body and mind was key to achieving those youthful dreams. That frame of mind steered me clear of other traps that promised an exciting high. Look, I was already experiencing a high that I never ever wanted to lose. Here's another thought. Every Friday night, I saluted and recited my Scout promise. On my honor, I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Scout law. My duty to God. You know, I said that once a week, but I don't know that I really understood what it meant. Looking back, I can see that God, without me even being aware of it, was weaving a pattern in my life that included guardrails, shielding me from influences that would set me up for disaster. I may have forgotten my encounter with Him, but He certainly had not forgotten me. During the years that Dave was living in Isipingo, Merle continued on at Russell Girls' School in the city of Pietermaritzburg. Life was pretty uneventful during those years. It was in 8th grade, however, at the age of 13, that an event took place that was a highlight in her life. And you know, Merle still talks about her very first family vacation. The excitement had been building for weeks. December 1956 would be a December to remember. A large house had been rented in Hebrides, one of the most popular seaside resorts on the south coast of South Africa's Indian Ocean. The family vacation group included Merle's mom and dad. This was only the second vacation they had ever had. The first one was a one-night honeymoon back in 1927. So let's see now. They waited a whole 29 years to take their next vacation. Then there was Brother John and Joan, his wife, and their son Graham. Brother Walter came along, and, of course, Merle was included, as was cousin Dulcie and husband Arthur, whom we believe planned the whole adventure, and David, their son. What an incredible family time that was. Except, that is, for one particular incident that still gives Merle the chills. On a particular day, she was given the responsibility of watching over her nephew Graham as he enjoyed the sun and the sand. Then, as Merle painfully recalled, one moment he was there, and the next he was gone. Frantically, she raced up and down the beach, but there was no sign of Graham. She burst into the house sobbing, "Graham has gone!" The family was galvanized into action, scouring the beach. Merle, all the while, was inside sobbing her heart out. She was convinced that Graham had drowned and she was responsible. I can't begin to imagine what she was going through. As they say, all's well that ends well. Graham was found exploring the beach, oblivious of the pandemonium he had caused.